laboratory, aka the kitchen. I'm going to put together a couple little batches of agar, and I figured I'd show you what I do here in the prep stage. So I just get my little scales going here. You can see that I use these nice little paper coffee filters. They work really good to have a disposable way to measure things out. So we're going to do two recipes here right now. We're going to do a water agar, which is just agar and water. So real simple. We're going to go ahead and we're going to throw in this batch. I think we're going with about 8.9 grams. If I don't put way too much in there, that is. Let's try that again. We want about 8.9 grams. And why I say with this batch is because I've found that with different batches of different types of agar, you can get different gelling rates. And in this one, I've figured out that it's a little bit stronger of a geller than others. So I've put 8.9 grams in there. That's all I'm going to do for this one. I'm pouring into a dry bottle here. If you had a wet bottle, you'd want to add water right away because the agar will kind of lump up on you. Anyway, I kind of use the coffee filter like a funnel here. Normally I'd have this hood fan on. It would suck up all the dust. It's a really good idea. I'll set that one aside. This one we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a Gellan batch gum of potato dextrose. So this is going to be a really clear one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add 12 grams of this low ACYL Gellan gum here. Very carefully. You can see the cloud of stuff here. That's why I usually use the fume hood, but I want you folks to be able to hear me today. All right, we got our 12 grams. Now we're going to take our fancy potato dextrose broth powder here from High Media. I use this stuff because it's easier to add one, but it's very clear, nice clarity. In this case, I'm going for a clear Gellan gum. So we're going to add 8.5 grams here. And these are for 500 milliliter batches. So that was 12 grams of Gellan gum and 8.5 grams of the potato dextrose broth powder. It's kind of tough to say early in the morning. All right. So the secret to Gellan gum, in my experience, is to use super duper cold water if you're going to mix it in a media bottle. So in this case, I have actual water with ice in it. This is ice water, cold as hell. I'm gonna have it all ready here. I need a ring, however. Throw our ring on there. All right. We'll go ahead and get our powder in there like normal. And we're going to do this as quick as we can. If you don't know, on these little wide mouth 500 milliliter Pyrex, this little line is your 500 mark, so it's real easy to hit. If you're using these other slim lines, they have a 500 here, but on the other side, the top of the Pyrex is also your 500 milliliter mark. So good reference to remember. And the reason we use ice water is because Gellan gum, it hydrates so fast. The warmer the liquid, the faster it hydrates. Even ice water, as you'll see here, only gives us a few seconds to get it mixed up before it completely gels. And you may even get like this, where you see I've got powder that doesn't want to come off. So even in this case, I've got lots of powderies that don't want to stick here. So, not ideal. Definitely I'd rather see all this stuff mixed in, because all of this is going to turn into chunks that I'm going to have to filter out later. But we'll go ahead and we'll throw it in the microwave, get it cooked up, see how it goes. An alternate method would be to add it to cold water or cool water on a stove top and use some sort of blender mixer. Maybe get it to work better. I've talked to some folks that have had that work. I think Outback Mycology was saying that worked well for them. Anyhow, so we'll set that one aside for a minute. It's obviously not ideal, but it will work. We'll get to filtering it out here. Now you'll see what will happen when we add the same cold liquid to regular agar. And as you can see, top of the little Pyrex mark is the 500 milliliter on that side. And in this case, it mixed up a whole lot better. No chunkies, nothing like that. Usually though, with regular agar, water agar, I would just go ahead and use a small amount of warm water. So now, before I get going too far, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break off as much of this chunky stuff as I can off the side. As much as you can get into the liquid as you can, it'll be nice. You know, it still looks bad. I would say that this batch probably I could use less Gellan gum, probably more like 10 or 11 grams, but we'll see when we get it all cooked in. It'll look a little different. Alright, so here we are playing with the Gellan gum in the microwave now, and we've run it through about 3 cycles at 1 minute. And we're just watching it here through the glass to make sure that it doesn't boil over. The Gellan gum has to get pretty warm to melt in. It's not like the agar where it will turn into liquid early on. You can see it's kind of moving now, so it's not too bad. It's not that super duper soup we were seeing earlier, but we do still have chunkies sticking around on the wall there, so we'll go ahead and we're going to keep microwaving it here until it boils over almost, and then we'll pull it off and we'll go ahead and we'll throw it on the magnetic stir. Alright, so we got some foaming action here on the Gellan gum. You can see there's kind of a clear layer at the bottom here. It's kind of bubbly and foamy at the top. That means we're getting there. It's starting to melt in pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it one more mix here. And we're going to watch it real close because it's going to want to bubble over. Alright, you can see there it's kind of turned white and foamy. That's our sign to go ahead and pull it. We'll go throw it on the magnetic stir, turn that puppy up on the heat, let it stir and get this thing going clear. And then we'll come back and we'll filter it. See you there. Alright, so here we are. You can see our Gellan gum here is cleared up pretty nicely. Do still have some chunks batting around in there, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our media bottle here to transfer it into. We're going to use our little tea strainers here, and we're going to get it in this bottle. Now initially what I just did is I put this in the microwave for about 30 to 45 seconds. It heated it up, and it'll keep it from breaking when I pour this really hot liquid in here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's almost boiling at the bottom. That's how I know it's time to go ahead and turn my stirrer off, take it off, and we're going to go ahead and strain it out using our tea strainer here, but also using our fancy barbecue glove here. Now, obviously, you want to be careful when doing this not to get it on yourself or spill. The reason I put it into a fresh bottle is because often there's parts of the non-mixed in gelling agent on the sides that will stick to it that you can't see. And then when you go cook them and go try pour it, you end up with all those chunkies. Now another interesting note here is you can kind of see the browning on the bottle here. Now this is what happens when you use one of these wide mouth jars or wide mouth media bottles on these magnetic stirrers, and you have powder that settles in this ring and it gets heated up too much. It scalds it and turns to brown and crispy. So if you happen to be using a magnetic stirrer and running into having some chunkies left over at the end, you know what you got going on. So now we have a much clearer Gellan gum here. We're going to go ahead and throw it back on the stirrer just to keep it hot and going while we're doing the rest of our project here. We'll put a fresh magnet in there and get it going. You can kind of see here that I've got some other nice little colors that I'm hiding in the background here. These are all for our Aaron Klein project, our giveaway. I'll show the results of this later. I'm not sure exactly how this is all going to turn out, so bear with me, and hopefully we'll have some cool stuff at the end of the day to show you.